The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. I'm murderous. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como yé. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV here in Nassau, Bahamas. Well, tourism is our #1 industry, and we want to be #1 in the world. So I welcome the Americans who are monitoring, because it is in America that the majority of the tourists them live. And if the Americans are truly our allies, decent, what is the name of the decent lady in charge of the American embassy? It's Lisa Johnson. Lisa, I need a favor. It's a new government. There's lots of unemployment. You are our ally. Would you please ask the Americans to come to the Bahamas? Because it is better here in the Bahamas. But in the midst of my appeal to our American friends to send some tourists, we're hearing serious allegations about the Negro jet skiers. I'm going to have to meet with y'all, because I kept telling y'all no sex with the tourists, and particularly the white tourists them. It's always dangerous to have sex with white tourists if they're not your wife. You know what kind of world we're living in? Can you imagine if I was a white tourist and I meet a Negro on the beach with my wife? She better cry rape, because if she doesn't cry rape, it will be me and her. Leave the white tourist alone unless she's your wife. So today, I got a bunch of things on my mind. I'm going to talk a little bit of tourism. I'm going to warn the jet ski operators. And then afterward, I got some Negro people I need to shout out to. But praise the Lord, my spiritual advisor who was lost has been found. Bradley Roll, biblical scholar extraordinaire, and my personal spiritual advisor. Bradley, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you, Senator.
Where have you been about the city?
Well, Senator, you know, whenever the summer comes, we have rainfall here in the country. My company, of course, gets a little busy.
What kind of work you do?
Well, I do landscaping. I do maintenance and, you know, stuff.
Help my spiritual advisor. I need him to get plenty land to escape.
Whew, yeah. So it's
you have
busy.
Enough work?
Yeah, well, you know,
Can you use a little more?
Yeah, as the rain kicks in, of course.
How the F&M contract coming?
Oh, they're coming great. They're
really?
Fat. Yeah, they're fat and they're juicy. You know?
Wow, this is powerful. Can you imagine a big, fat, juicy F&M contract? Oh. Well, we'll talk about that, because there's some things on my mind, and they still have my feelings hurt. My feelings is hurt. I'm angry, and I'm still in a cursing mood. So my name is Rodney Monker. I'm a justice of the peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And I must profess, notwithstanding my sins, I'm a member of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. And Father, I have to confess some sins, because I have quite a number of sins, Father. So wherever you are, say a silent prayer for me. This is Freedom March. We will be right back after we pay the bill stamp.
This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV. My name is Rodney Monker, and in-house with me today, praise the Lord, is my spiritual advisor and a biblical scholar, Bradley Roll. Bradley, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you, Mr. Monker.
Well, Brother Roll, you are in the landscaping business.
Absolutely.
And by virtue of that, from time to time, when you would have landscaped, you would be required to dispose of the debris.
Right.
And you, as you are aware, from the 1st of June to my birth date, the 30th of November, is the hurricane season. And off and on, the month of June has been raining. So, what does that mean for the environment and for residents? Yesterday, you would recall that a Negro young man from Big Pond subdivision, which sits in the new constituency called, what is the name of the constituency that Shenandoah Cartwright is the member of parliament, my spiritual advisor?
Is that, let me see now,
is it St. Barnabas?
St. Barnabas, right.
It is St. Barnabas.
St. Barnabas, right.
Well, that's where Big Pond is located. And a Negro young man called to complain over the fact that there is no garbage collection. Well, today, in the northern district of the island, appeared before me a Negro female who's a resident of Foxdale. And she complained bitterly that the garbages are not being collected. And she's concerned over the fact that it's been raining and nobody would come to move the garbage. I looked at her, but something said to me, govern your tongue. But I could not. And I said to her, don't worry, sister, it is the people's time. She smiled, but she said, listen, they wouldn't come and collect the garbage. Who's in charge of the environment?
Romel Fierro.
Well, Romel Fierro. That's his name?
I assume I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Okay. Well, I cursed him out yesterday. And I want to say to him again, Romy, the Negro people, they're complaining that you're not, or whoever your cabinet colleague is, you're not collecting the garbage. My God. You can't collect garbage? All right? Romy, the people in Foxdale, they're complaining. And I have to put up and listen to those complaints, merely because I don't know what has gone wrong. Please address that. This morning, the Tribune, having heard that I launched 2 attacks on their favorite Negro candidates, Marvin Dames, the Minister of National Security, and the brother of the Guardian propagandist, Candia Dames, and my attack on Romy, the Tribune, which is dated the 13th of June. All right? The Tribune wrote a whole editorial trying to defend them. All eyes on Dames and Ferreira. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, because this name obviously is not indigenous. But praise the Lord, the Tribune says that all eyes are on Dames and Ferreira. And that is true. I have my 2 eyes on those 2 men. And so, I want to go back to Marvin Dames. It's very important, because Marvin Dames is a trained policeman. But the murders are continuing. And the Tribune, with its wicked self, has put something in this paper. And they think that they can, what do you call it? When you put the rock in your hand and you shake your hand, what you call that?
What, was fire burn?
They're trying to fire burn him against Greenslade. But I'll tell you, Ellison Greenslade is a Monka, and all his brilliance come from the Monka side of the family. All right? So y'all stop trying to fire burn. So let's look at Marvin. It's very important to look at Marvin because Marvin is the answer to all the murders, all the rapes, and all the robberies. And I don't want no excuse. I want him to solve these problems, and to the extent that he can detect and prevent. He's a policeman. Mother Pratt was not a policeman, but Mother Pratt went on patrol. I'm not suggesting that Marvin goes on patrol, but I'm saying that I want to see serious crime fighting strategy. You would have seen the Nassau Guardian this morning, in which Marvin's sister, Candia James, you take it from me, I know these Negroes because Candia and I worked for the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram. And Papa say, I can say anything I want to say as long as I speak truth. Now, Papa, if Candia was not waking as she sat at the table, then tell me what she was doing at the table. Papa knows that I ain't gonna lie. Candia works for Mr. Ingram, and she continues to work for him. But it is interesting to note that in the Nassau Guardian, this story in the Guardian is a response to my attack. So you must always know, my spiritual advisor, when you attack and you see the reaction of your political opponent. Now, Marvin Daines has pulled an interesting maneuver. Him and Minnis, they have announced that they are disbanding the National Intelligence Agency. Now, there's a man I saw wearing a skirt, a dress, and he looks like a terrorist. He looks like a terrorist. Every time I see him in his long gown, I quickly speed off because he looks like a terrorist. And don't forget, the Americans has already found one terrorist born in the Bahamas. You know that, right?
Yes, I'm aware of it, yeah.
Am I speaking true?
Yeah, you're correct, yeah.
Right.
But we need to find out, how did he pick up his terrorism, though?
Well,
was the base in the Bahamas, or did he learn it in America? That's the thing.
You can't learn terrorism in America because America is the home of the brave.
Well, land of the free, absolutely.
Yeah. So we now know that we have a terrorist among us. Right? Praise the Lord for the Americans. They can smell a terrorist a mile away. In the midst of the Americans finding a terrorist who was conceived and born in the Bahamas, Marvin has announced, and it's proper, that he's going to disband the National Intelligence Agency. You would recall that Fred Smith and Joe Dowell of Freeport, they were two of the major opponents to the PLP amending the law that would have, what is another word when you get rid of a law? Repealing a particular legislation and making it more democratic. Because as it stands now, under the listening devices, the Commissioner of Police, on his own, can listen to our conversation, and or the minister responsible for national security, and I think also the Attorney General. They can order the Commissioner of Police to listen to your conversation, monitor your Facebook page, send people to join your WhatsApp group. All right? But the PLP had decided that it wanted to be democratic, almost similar to how it is done in the United States. If you're going to wiretap somebody, if you're going to listen on them, you had to go before a federal judge and tell the judge why you think Joe Public should be spied on or airdrop on. And if you didn't convince the federal judge, he didn't give the order. That is what Christie and the PLP were trying to do as they broaden the democracy and bring the court into making sure that there were no abuses taking place. Because I've received intelligence that the FNM is now spying. Can you imagine? Menace, I want you all to stop spying before you see the wrong thing. Stop spying. All right? They're now spying. And I can't figure out why they're spying. When you take into consideration that they were opposed to it. But I say all of that to say that Marvin Dames has decided that he's going to disband the National Intelligence Agency. And the question that I want to ask Marvin is the former Commodore of the Defense Force. What is the name of the former Commodore of the Defense Force?
Butch Cavallo.
What is his real name? We will call him Commodore Scavallo until you find his full name.
Isn't that what they call him, Butch Cavallo?
Yes, I said, what is his real name?
Oh, okay.
Commodore Scavallo, is he now free to discuss the National Intelligence Agency, since the FNM has agreed that that apparatus at all material time was illegal? Is he free? Because if he is, I'd like to interview him. I'd like to know what they were doing. Because Marvin suggested that they were sitting down and doing nothing. And I can't believe that all that spying that Fred Smith and them accused the PLP of, you mean to tell me they wasn't spying? I'm upset.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is, why are you saying that the FNM is calling it illegal?
Because
was there legislation in place to have them operate?
No.
All right, so it's illegal.
But during the campaign, Marvin said how he was going to utilize it. It was only when we here on Freedom March said to him, my God, Marvin, you're going to utilize an illegal...
Yes, you did. As a matter of fact, you said it a month or two prior to that.
Okay.
And everybody knew what it was, but now Marvin Dames is calling it what it is.
Well, I forced him. Don't forget, I know who Marvin is, you know. My problem is I cannot attack Marvin without attacking certain senior PLPs. Because Marvin and them are joined at the hips. I know. And that's the problem. But next week, I'm going to pray over it.
Him and senior PLPs are joined at the hip.
Yes.
Mr. Monkey, you're a very interesting character, to say the least. You know?
What do you mean by that, my spiritual advisor? Have
well,
I said?
You know what? No, just go ahead. I'll listen. I'm listening to you.
Well, the point I'm making is, don't forget, there was a point in Marvin history when he was a policeman. He had to obey Allison. He had to obey the other Negro who was in charge. He had to obey the next Negro. They were all PLPs. All right? And so I knew what they did. I knew what they did. And I knew the punishment that the PLP inflicted on Marvin. Because Marvin pussyfooted in one of the decisions.
So what was that decision? That he should not be Commissioner of Police?
No. The question of him being Commissioner of Police, the PLP had nothing to do with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was Papa. Grainsnet is a moniker. And Papa didn't want to upset me. Because I told Papa them, don't do no nonsense. Grainsnet is a moniker, and Grainsnet is brilliant. Okay? He's very brilliant, and he's a great maneuverer. All right? But that isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the reason why the PLP administration between 2002 and 2007 pack up Marvin and send him to the airport to watch the airport. Watch out for me, eh? Marvin, do right, or I can miss and tell the public. Do right, Marvin. You hear me? Or I shall slip deliberately and tell because I know, and I have not questioned the PLP. I just happen to be an observer, and I watch it. And when I saw the maneuver, I said, Lord, what this is? Marvin and the PLP tie to the hips. And there was like 3 PLP. Can you imagine Marvin tied to 3 PLP hip? I know. You hear me?
So
I
let
know.
me ask you a question.
Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Was this a right move on behalf of the National Security Minister to dismantle the NIA?
Well, first of all, I want to know if, in fact, the NIA ever existed.
Apparently, it
Or
did.
was it a phantom?
Well, you had senior police officers from various divisions working together, apparently without a clear mandate.
Well, I don't know.
That is
'Cause
what
I
the
never
minister-
saw
well,
them.
That's what he said he discovered.
Only one person I saw. That was Commander Scavala.
Bush Cavallo.
One day, I went to the softball team. And when I looked, under the bleacher was Bush Scavala. And I quickly ran for my camera. And I started taking his picture. And I said to him, are you spying on me? Because just in case you are, I'm going to take your picture spying on me.
So, and if the agency was in operation, what was their mandate? Who were they spying on?
I don't know.
And for what reason?
Who?
What kind of intelligence were they gathering?
I don't know who their mandate was, nor did I know who their woman date was. I don't know. Marvin will tell us who their mandate is, because over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to go undercover, meet with those 3 PLPs, and tell them, listen, guide me, because I am out to attack Marvin. I'm out to attack Marvin. All right? I'm out to attack Marvin because I know what Marvin did. Don't forget, Marvin, remember, Operation Bring the Boys Home. I know what they did. I know what they did. And so that is interesting. So it's gone. It's gone. It's very interesting. It's gone. But I know what they did. And I think I'm going to have to talk about it some more because I am intrigued by the NIA. And I like to call it the Negro Intelligence Agency. When I return, I shall look at the next Negro that the Tribune is defending, Rumi. Rumi is the Negro who is the environmentalist and the Minister of Housing, and how Rumi never visited the land. I got new information. Rumi is incompetent. He shouldn't be Minister of Housing nor Environment. He's incompetent. Will kill black people by putting them 731 feet away from the city dump.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live here on ILTV in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker, and I am joined in studio by biblical scholar and my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll. Bradley, welcome once again.
Thank you.
In the Tribune, there is a story. This is the Tribune. The Tribune is the 13th of June edition. And on its front page, there are 2 Negro males who have been accused of murder. And just to the left of that is a story. And the headline goes like this: Sex Assault on Canadian Woman by Jet Ski Operators. I have quite a number of friends who are jet ski operators. And every time that I'm invited to the beach to talk with jet ski operators, I always warn them, do not have sex with the tourists them, and particularly the white tourists, because should the tourist husband or boyfriend catch y'all, the best thing for the woman to say is, you raped her. But to avoid allegation, control your sex. I always told them. And I could see how one or two would look at me in a strange manner. Well, today I'm going to give you a story. I was an employee of Club Mediterranean, Club Med on Paradise Island. It is a French resort. The member of parliament, what's his name? What is the name of the professor from the University of the Bahamas who is now a member of parliament in Fort Charlotte? What's his name?
Oh, that's
What's his name? Well, find his name while I talk. I was working at Club Med. I worked there. And the member of parliament for Fort Charlotte, what is the name of the Negro man?
yeah. He went to SAC. I'm trying to.
He
remember
went to
his name.
SAC.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his name
And
now.
he's a professor. He worked there. He was a GO. GO meant gentle organizer. Gentle organizer. He and the other Negroes who were GO.
Mark Humes.
Mark Humes, the member
Mark
of
Humes,
parliament. You got to watch out for me, you know. I got good memory. And this story has brought back. Mark was a GO. The GOs wear a kind of towel. They would take the towel, tie it to the back of them, across their waist, bring it up between their legs, and they tie it. He was young, youthful, and perhaps sexy. And so he was a GO. And I worked between the kitchen and the storeroom. And you know, the French are said to be some of the most sexiest people on the world.
And they're the best love makers, as a matter of fact.
They're good love makers. Well, you might be right. Because one day, I was taking French bread from the storeroom to the northern part of Club Med on Paradise Island at a place, a restaurant called Grey Leaf. Grey Leaf or Grey Cleef. And on my way, I saw a Negro male. He was naked. Him and the French was in the grass. So I looked because I was young. I was like 23. And it dawned on me that they were making out. So I quickly grabbed the bread and I quickly rushed to Grey Cleef or Grey Leaf. Those of you who worked at Club Med would be aware. And as I returned, it dawned on me that that Negro male was one of the gardeners. And it was like every gardener was just making out. So during the lunch break, I said to one of them that I knew very well, I said, listen, were you all really making out? He said, yes. He said, you know how much money I make? I said, you made money? Yeah. The French were paying the gardeners for sex, meaning female French were paying the Negro gardeners at Club Med for sex. Ain't nobody tell me this. I saw them. And so it dawned on me one day, a boat pull up at Club Med. And there's a Negro man by the name of George Cooper. George said to me, listen, we need you to go down in the ship. And I'm always suspicious. So as I looked in the ship was dark. I said, George, there's no light. He said, don't worry about that. Just go down. I told George I was not going down. And when they cut on the light, the most beautiful, delicious, blonde French woman laying off. And it dawned on me, wow, this place is extremely sinful, and I shall not partake. Little scandal almost developed. I'm giving you a period between 1978 and 1981. And so what you had is young Negro males were providing sex services. But the controversy was when a Frenchman discovered what his wife was doing. So from my personal observation, that is why I've said to the jet ski operators, listen, award it. And one talk about his rights. So I said, well, look, to play it safe, take the tourists to the nearest police station and let the police know what y'all intend to do. And have her tell the police that whatever y'all do, as sinful as it might appear, it was not criminal. So I'm going to say to you, leave the tourists alone. Don't have sex with them. Okay? Unless you take them. And I'm serious with what I'm saying. Unless they accompany you to the nearest police station. And you say, and have them say to the police, now listen, we're going to make love. I ain't getting raped. Because you run the danger of being accused. Now that is for the cases where there may not have been rape. But there are people who is involved in the business that you have to properly scrutinize. You have to scrutinize. And I would hope that my good friend, the other Brother Roll, you know I mean you, that you're going to have to now seriously say to the brothers them that we can't have it. Because there are powerful economic forces who don't want y'all to be in the business. They don't want y'all. First of all, some of y'all are making too much money and you're too black. And this is the government that will agree to move you. I worked as a cab driver, and I remember when the former Deputy Prime Minister, the man that Papa trusts with big money, I remember when him and them other scallywags interfered with taxi drivers' ability to carry tourists from the ship to Paradise Island as they cut away huge slices of the economic pie, arguing how taxi drivers were indisciplined. So I ain't talking from speculation or conjecture. I can give you all kind of example. And the Deputy Prime Minister was Frank Watson. I remember when him and the Conky Joe man who owned the boat, when they jammed y'all taxi drivers who, when I was marching with the PLP on Independence, y'all throw jazz. Well, I remember, and do not forget, that those same people, they're in charge now, and they always wanted to run taxi drivers from around the dock. All right? And y'all know how we went to the cabinet office and how y'all Negroes complained when y'all discovered that dirty, nasty trick that Frank Watson pulled with the Conky Joe man who owned the catamaran. All right? Don't forget. So leave the tourists alone. Leave the tourists alone. And if you leave the tourists alone, even when sex is voluntary, there'll be no controversy. No controversy. I've been in the taxi business. I run into people who try to get me to carry them to buy drugs. They say they want to buy drugs. I say, come. I carry one white man far. And I told him, I said, now black people, they is be suspicious. You stay right here until I come back. And that Jack A, he had to walk back to Paradise Island. Then one night I was driving the limousine. 10 tourists. They nagged me all night trying to get me to turn around to go look for drugs. 10 white people. And let me tell you something. I speed to the airport to get rid of them. So I'm aware of it. You hear me? And the last time a tourist tried to get me to buy drugs, when I arrived at Atlantis, praise the Lord, Basil Dane came out front. And I used Basil as an excuse. I say, you see that man right there? He's the chief of security, and he's the smartest Negro on the whole of Paradise Island. You nor me would know when we are arrested. And they jump out of the car and they went into the hotel. So be smart. Be smart. And remember, every tourist is an undercover agent. So act lawfully. Leave the sex alone. Take your sex home. Simple as that. So now they'll use this. And Marvin is their man. This is the excuse to run y'all off the beaches with your black self.
Mr. Monka.
You don't have to believe me. Believe me. Because I got to tell you something, my brother. I've had the opportunity to infiltrate the established organization. And I know these Negroes, they do not like black people. You heard what I said? And in case you misunderstand me, let me rephrase it. I see these black people, they don't like Negroes. You hear me? You know why? They are the children of slaves. And they've been damaged for the last 600 years. And it will take 1,000 years to emancipate themselves from mental slavery. So leave the tourists alone and try to make a living. You don't got to have no sex. I know you're all young and sexy. Take your sex home. My spiritual advisor, am I giving them good advice?
Well, you're giving them good advice, and in the main, and while doing that, you seem to be suggesting something else.
Like what, my spiritual advisor? Help me.
Yeah, well, let me ask you a question. The complaints that are levied against the jet ski operators, are those complaints legitimate?
I don't know. All I'm saying to the jet ski, because from my experience...
You're saying that this is an attack on them to be removed from the water sport.
Yes, one jet ski...
I don't know if that's fair enough.
That's because you have not been in the tourist industry the way I have been. See, I'm not talking because I'm guessing. All right? I know what Frank Watson them did. All right? But I leave Frank Watson alone because when I go to Papa, Papa said, well, leave that one alone. Every time a senior F&M does me something, I go see Mr. Ingram. Right? The only two F&M that Papa has cleared for me to curse out has been Janet Bosbeck and Henry Bosbeck. Papa told me exactly what to say because he don't want Janet on government house.
You should have let Papa do his job himself.
Papa was giving me satisfaction.
I wouldn't allow anybody to tell me to curse somebody else.
Yeah.
If you want to curse them, you go and curse them yourself.
If you go to Papa and you say, Papa, Janet did me such and such a thing, right? Papa say, that's what she did? Then Papa sit me down and then tell me that's why he appointed to Government Hill.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyhow.
All right?
Okay, but anyhow, Mr. Monk, the point is this, right? Is that in the jet ski operation, there are some legitimate jet ski operators who claim that they have one or two rogue operators who do these things.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, the jet ski operators who operate legitimately say there are a few bad apples out there who are making things tough for them. So these claims are legitimate. These guys do harass these tourists.
I am not ignoring that. That is why I am saying to them, to avoid the very appearance of evil, have no sex with the tourists them. If you're not having sex, right?
No problem.
Then where will the allegation come?
Yeah.
Huh? Where will the allegation come from? If you're not having sex. So it is dangerous in this business to have sex with the tourists, whether or not it is consensual. Starting off, you shouldn't rape nobody.
No.
That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is, do not have sex. Because if I was a white man and I went on, what the beach name? Give me a beach.
Cabbage Beach.
On Cabbage Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I meet a Negro upon my white wife. You know what that means? I don't want her no more. All right? So you avoid it.
What if she says rape?
But that's the point. If she say rape,
that's a different case.
I'm going to hang a Negro. All right? So to avoid it, just leave the tourists alone. Give them all the services except sexual services, and you avoid the controversy. Because you have a Negro in charge of the Ministry of Tourism, and one of his greatest delights is to move y'all off the beach. Tout le monde haïtien, est-ce que ou lit Journal Tribune? Journal dit, yon jet ski operator, how should I say it? Should I say frappe? Frappe, madame?
I guess so.
Frappe, fait bagay, madame?
I guess so.
Pas fait bagay, parce que si ou fait bagay, madame, si monsieur responsable pour madame a vini, il kembe nou, le ou fait bagay, madame, madame gen relay, madame gen di, ou fait bagay li, illégalement. And I say, pas fait ça, don't do it. Pas fait ça. Am I right to tell it?
Yes, the warning is great, Mr. Monica.
You think I've done a good job,
I
my
think so,
spiritual
yeah.
advisor?
I think you have. But, you know, as it relates to the regulation of the jet ski operators, I think our tourists should be able to identify who are the legitimate ones.
Yeah, but all the Negroes look alike.
Yeah, no, but they should be able to produce some sort of identification or license, say, well, this is a business operated by so-and-so, so-and-so. Because if the jet ski operators are claiming that there are some rogue operators out there, then they need to be separated.
Yes, I quite agree with you.
They need to be separated.
But in the tourism industry, watch what they do. They look for one bad apple to get rid of everybody.
Yeah, and that's not fair.
And that's what they
Yeah,
do.
that's not fair.
Because these are gangsters. Listen to me. I know them. And watch out for me. I know powerful people in the society who for many years, they confer with me and they confirm my allegations. And that's what I'm saying. Leave the tourists alone. Don't have no sex with the tourists. All right? Especially the white ones. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. All right? Bad publicity. Huh? Right here in the Tribune. Okay? So stop it. No sex. I know you're all sexy. Find some saltpeters. Isn't that what they use? Saltpeters?
To put in the prison.
Well, saltpeters might be
to put in the
illegal.
prisoners' food, yeah, you can't
But
do
leave the
that.
tourists
Yeah.
alone and go and find your own bone fish.
But then, Mr. Monica, the bigger picture is that, you know, we just have to learn as a people that the tourism industry is pretty big in the Bahamas, and we have to learn to protect it. Not only that, what's going to happen is that the Americans are going to soon issue these travel advisories to their tourists come to the Bahamas to be aware of these incidents. You
but
know?
the next dishonesty is the fact that we have not publicly acknowledged that there is a sex tourism.
Yeah.
All right? Don't forget what I told you.
I understand.
At Club Med, the French white woman was buying the gardeners. The gardeners. I couldn't figure out why did they want a gardener as opposed to the waiter. Well, the gardener was the way the gardener looked. He was a caveman. That's what was going on. All right? So you better stop it, or the Aguila will run you all off the beach with your black self. I know these people. Tout le monde haïtien. Le ou gen time. Parler ak Timona qui travaille dans business tourist. Parce que Journal Tribune dit yon jet ski, you rape, you fait bagay tourist là. Oh, I'm so tired of my Negro people. Leave these white people alone, eh? All right? Leave them alone and say to them that, you know, you're not interested in that. Or is it a violation of their human rights?
Well, Mr. Monica, I mean, from a Christian perspective, you know my take on that.
But let me hear your take from a...
See, to avoid all of this.
Yes, look at the camera so the people can hear you.
To avoid all of this fornication, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 7, the Bible says, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband.
But this is the Bahamas, where they
Yeah.
quietly promote sex tourism.
Yeah,
You heard what I
and
tell
it's
you?
wrong, and that's why we have this issue. You see,
Yes.
if we keep sex in the way God designed it, there wouldn't be no issue.
But these are not
One man.
These are not Christian tourists.
I understand that.
Now, Bishop
I
Leonidas,
understand that.
when he bring the tourists them in, they're Christian tourists. You follow my point? They don't do those kinds
Yeah,
of
I
things.
understand we're operating on a different parameter, but I'm saying though, if we stick to biblical principles, then all of this, would be avoided. Simple.
And what?
One woman, one man, sexual partners for life.
But these are young boys.
I know. That's why to avoid fornication, they should get married. The Bible says it's always better to marry than to burn with passion. When you get married, you deal with that side of you. That's a God-given thing. There's nothing wrong with it, but it just has to be contained within a certain parameter. You can't stop sex. Life is sexy. All right?
You really think so, my
That's
spiritual advisor?
God created it. And it's put there for man to enjoy. And, of course, to procreate. But I'm saying if we keep it in the right confines, there's no issue. When we step outside of the confines, then we have this problem.
Okay. Well, tell them.
What I mean?
Tell them what you think they
I
should
don't
do.
have a... See, pardon me?
Tell the jet ski operators what you think they ought to do
The
going
jet
forward.
ski operators, in my
Yeah.
opinion, to
Yeah.
be effective in their work, I think what they need to do, if they especially young men, who are very sexy, what they need to do is they need to get married. All right, so they could avoid fornication. Once married, you have a sexual desire. It's your wife's duty to satisfy that. Outside of that, you're looking at adultery and fornication, all kind of other stuff. So,
But adultery,
let's keep it the Bible way.
adultery in the Bahamas is not a criminal offense.
Well,
Nor is fornication.
it's amazing adultery is not a criminal offense, but buggery is, eh?
It also is a ground for divorce.
Yeah, of course. All of it is.
Should-
All of it is called fornication.
Should we advocate for adultery and fornication to become unlawful?
Well, we could, but of course we live in a democratic, free and liberal society, and people are going to say you're infringing on my right to, do certain things.
And the jet ski operator can argue the same thing, that the white woman wanted to go across the
Yeah,
island.
I've heard the stories, Rose Island and all the other places,
Yeah.
and they stay for hours and hours.
But they better stay away because that man who they got now in charge of tourism,
That's Dionisio de Aguilar.
yes, he would be more than delighted
I think it's the product more than
to
anything
run
else.
y'all off the beach.
I think
Mark
it's-
my word.
I think it's a protection of the product more than anything else, Mr.
All right.
Mark. I wouldn't read into that.
You wouldn't read into what?
No, I think it's a protection of the tourism product. I mean, in my opinion. And we should rightfully so protect it.
Okay.
We have millions of tourists visit us every year. We want to protect that at all costs.
I agree with you. Let's protect it.
At
We
all
want to
costs.
be number one.
Absolutely.
When I come back, I may ask the question, is the Aguilar what? A louse? Is he a louse? Is that a word, my spiritual advisor?
What's that? A louse?
Louse.
Which means he's lousy. Ooh.
That's what louse means?
Well,
I thought louse was something for lice.
no.
No?
I think people use it to say, man, this guy is a louse. He's a lousy fella.
So what?
I think that's the context people use it in.
What is the plural for lice?
It's
If you're
all the
not-
same.
Huh?
It's all the same.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because I didn't go to
It's
St.
almost like
Augustine.
sheep. You can't say sheeps. Sheep is sheep. Where
How
there's
come-
1, 2, or 3.
How come they're saying peoples now? When I was in school, Mr. Archer said never say peoples, but now they're saying peoples. Is the Nuncio de Aguilar, the Minister of Tourism, a louse? He appears to be rejoicing over the fact that he sensed that Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, may pull some of the Obama benefits to Cuba. Goodness me, De Aguilar. Come on. Don't be a louse. Could we not in the Caribbean join forces and come up with what I would call a Caribbean product? I mean, you are rejoicing with your know good self. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker, and I shall be back to kite out the Aguila.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live here on ILTV in Nassau, Bahamas, where tourism is the #1 industry. But the question is the Aguila a #1 tourism minister? But before I waste my time with him, let me give some shout out. I met some very interesting Negro citizens today. And of course, I must shout them out. I start off by saluting Immigration Officer David Roll. And he is assigned to our Border Patrol and the K-9 unit. I was at the Immigration Department. I ran into him. He was so kind and professional. David, you're a great man, and I was honored that you treated me and the spiritual advisor very well today. Yesterday, there was a Negro male that I was supposed to give a shout out to. He celebrated his 32nd birthday. And could you believe it? Him and the birthday party, they sat before the TV waiting for me to give the shout out. And I couldn't find the paper. But by grab, Demetrius Roll. I'm sorry about that. Happy birthday. You're 32. So you are a mature man. And you are, from I've known you, you've been extremely responsible. So have a happy, happy birthday. Once again, I apologize. I didn't shout you out on the actual day, yesterday. I also want to recognize Miss Marwa Lewis. Marwa, I met your daughter today, and her name is Renee Johnson, and she told me that you are one of the woman them, and I was honored to hear it, and that you love Freedom March. Listen, Freedom March is the show to watch, and I'm pleased that you're one of the woman them, and that you rejected gender equality. Don't mind marrying the peddling them. They're communists. And don't forget what my grandma say. Mama say they don't believe in God. I also want to say to Renee, when you told me that your mother was a Lewis, you wanted to know why I was so excited? Well, I'm family to the Lewises. I got some first cousins. They're Lewis. The Lewises are some of the greatest people. Dr. Nigel Lewis is my first cousin. We had 2 sister children, all right? So when I told you I was honored to meet you, foremost in my mind was my first cousin, Dr. Nigel Lewis, all right? So now you know why I was so excited. And of course, I want to shout out to 2 wonderful civil servants, Paula Hall and Patricia Williams. They are wonderful civil servants, and I just love the fact that you 2 appears to love my people, the Haitian people, very well. So you all won my heart, and I thank God for you. But my spiritual advisor, greater than all of that, was today a Negro man. He presented his wife to me, and he said, Monka, my wife, she is one of the women them. So Craig Molly, it was an honor to meet your wife. Thurinia, please forgive me if I pronounce your name incorrectly, but I can spell it. And your name is spelled capital T-R-E-N-I-A, Molly. So it was a pleasure to meet the wife, and I was excited when both of you informed me how the wife lovingly submits to the husband. And you listen to me. Blessed is the wife who submits to a loving husband, for their relationship will remain until death do them part. So that was powerful to...
Did you give it the numbers? Did you give it the numbers?
Give out the numbers, my spiritual advisor. You don't have the numbers?
You had it, yeah.
No.
To call into the show.
Everybody, they show it on the screen. Don't you show the screen, the numbers on the screen? On the screen? They do. So, where are we now? Okay, that is great to hear it. Tell the people them they can call me. There was something I wanted to deal with. Yes. This is an all-point bulletin from me. I'm looking for a man named Michael Cox. Michael Cox was the CEO of Renew Bahamas. And Michael, I do not like what the reports I am receiving. Report number 1 is that you and Renew, having closed down the landfill, that you are still here in the country. I thought the PLP said you was on work permit. So to the immigration officers, as one of Her Majesty's Justices of the Peace, I need to know whether or not Michael Cox is lawfully here in the Bahamas. Because today, a Negro woman appeared before me and she declared that she and about 108 Bahamian staff were declared redundant in September of 2016, and they have not received their redundancy pay. The Negro lady who solemnly affirmed that she is owed over $16,000, and she has in her possession an agreement to which Renewed Bahamas agreed to pay her half of that sum in the first month of her redundancy. And to date, she cannot find Renew Bahamas nor Michael Cox. So I'm concerned about that, and I'm concerned that many of the staff have reported that they have been owed for 3 weeks. And that ain't fair. So I want the nearest immigration officer to track down Michael Cox, the former CEO of Renew Bahamas. And Michael Cox, wherever you are, I want you to pay these people. All right? I want you to pay them. And to the Director of Labor, Farquharson, I'm not pleased with what those Negroes have reported to me. And I expect that you will defend the rights of the workers. Because do not forget what time it is. And it is the people's time. And I'm tired of citizens just complaining to me. So I want you to do something about it. Do I have some Negroes on the telephone line? Welcome to Freedom March. Well, let's try for another Negro citizen. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Sir.
Yeah, Mr. Monker, how you doing?
I am angry. How are you?
I'm doing okay. One question for you.
Go ahead, my brother.
How much is the PLB paying you to be an announcer?
Take it from me. They should be paying me, but they're not giving me anything. And I should. All right? Because I work hard. I have to get up like 6 a.m. to do research. Then I have to listen to the complaints of PLPs. Right? But I'm not getting anything. Do you know any top PLP? So you could say to them that they should give my spiritual advisor...
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up.
They should give my spiritual advisor a love offering, and me, I want a political offering. Bring money.
Really?
Because I have worked. I'm doing an honest job, and I'm putting the case. All right? And I don't mind having a consultancy, because I suspect that many of the PLPs are wealthy, but they're not giving me anything. But I yearn to have some money. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Monker.
Yes?
I'm calling to let you know to Flamingo Garden Clinic, there's only one doctor.
Man, don't talk
And
no
for
nonsense.
you to get an appointment, you have to leave your house at 5:30 in the morning to get there for 6 o'clock. And when you get there, all the numbers are gone. So please tell Frankie to build a clinic for his people. Bye.
Okay. You heard what this lady said.
One doctor. at
One
the
doctor.
Flamingo Clinic.
How you pronounce it?
Flamingo.
That isn't how we pronounce it.
You say Flamingo?
It's Flamingo. Jesus, y'all could, just because you went to St. Augustine now, all you're doing is repeating the English language correctly. But you can show off. Frankie Campbell, I have a complaint. A Negro lady says that she went to the Flamingo Clinic. And for you Negroes who think I can't pronounce it correctly, Bradley, how
It is Flamingo.
Right. She went to the Flamingo Clinic. You have to go there at 5:30 to get a ticket, a number. And by the time other people get there, all the numbers gone. One doctor. Now, Dr. Dwayne Sands, you better be careful because you prayed to God that one day you would be the minister of health and how you will administer fair and equitable health care. Well, by God, you got it. I want no excuse. All right? I don't want no excuse. My people, the Negro people, must have more than one doctor. All right? I watched Dr. Sands. He's my doctor, you know. He has me in life.
Of course.
Don't get mad with me because you're in government and I have to consult the government. So, Dr. Sands, you've gotten your wish. You said the PLP know what they was doing. Even though they had an exploit as a minister of health, one of the greatest doctor who was able to lead one of the greatest battles against HIV and AIDS.
It's Gomez?
Yes, Perry Gomez.
Perry Gomez.
Good man. Good man. Now, Andrew Stem wrote him out. The PLP is gone. G-O-N-E. Gone. Now, the people say it's only one doctor. Well, you must could find some doctor. Okay? And Frankie Campbell, the people want a new clinic. Okay? So go ahead and do it.
Southern Shores.
That's where Frankie is?
Yeah.
Southern Shores.
Yeah, he's
okay.
the member of parliament of Southern Shores.
Well, the people need a clinic. And what time is it?
It's the people's time.
What time is it?
It's the people's time.
Okay. So,
It's a fresh government, though. Let's.
do you have any texts?
Yeah, we have a lot of tax here, man.
Get me some texts.
All right. Here we go. Hi, Mr. Munker. Tell Romy we are suffering from the Marathon Mall sewer system.
Well, listen. Don't worry about that. Romy is now the Minister of the Environment. And the Tribune say all eyes is on him. But I know he's incompetent. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hi, Mr. Munker.
Yes?
Hi, this is first-time caller. I'm one of the women's them.
Oh, praise the Lord.
Just want to let you know that I do enjoy your show and you're doing a good work. Keep up your good work, okay?
I thank you, my love.
Okay, so you have a good evening.
Thank you very much. You are kind. God save the Queen. Do we have more texts?
Okay, go.
Yes, Mr. Munker. If the NIA is no more, can you tell me, please, what was the $90,000 budget for? Thank you.
There's a $92,000 budget?
I assume it's probably salary, if they're dismantling it to pay maybe overtime or
My spiritual
salaries.
advisor, I want you to stop it.
I assume. Because $90,000 is nothing.
What you mean?
A budget of $90,000?
When I was in the Senate and they give me my $1,200,
Yeah.
you know how happy I used to be?
Yeah, I understand that.
Stop saying that.
Yeah.
$90-something thousand? That's plenty of money. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, my dear. How are you?
Hi, Senator Rodney Munker. How are you?
I am fine, but at 60, they got me angry.
Don't let them get you angry, sir. I watch you every day.
Wow.
And I must say you are very informative.
I thank you.
Very, very informative. Spiritual advisor, stay focused. Sometimes you get a little unfocused, but stay focused.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yes, and you both are looking very sharp.
Thank you much,
Hey,
ma'am.
Rodney, I just want you to know I'm one of the woman them.
Listen, as one of the woman them, I'm going to soon be calling a woman's conference, and you got to come.
I'm looking forward to it. I heard you talk about that early last week, I think it was.
Yes, and I also going to need some women who have little technical skills.
Yes.
You see my point? Little typing, you know.
Yes, so you just put the clarion call out there, and you will have all the women there to support you.
Praise the Lord. I thank you very, very much.
You're welcome, sir.
God save the Queen.
God save the Queen.
That's one of the women them. Do I have more calls? Spiritual advisor, read text.
Mr. Monica, these jet ski operators need to know and understand that when women, especially women tourists, when they get drunk, they give it up easy. And when they get sober, they call it rape. That's why I wouldn't like a white woman if you pay me. And them jet ski drivers, and those jet ski drivers support the F&M big time. I wish they move some of them. I'm tired of them fooling with these tourists. That's a text.
Next.
Good afternoon. I do not want that white lady. Sorry, I do not know what that white lady is talking about because one doctor is nothing new. That's been happening since 2013. So there goes another salty PLP, and wants to blame the F&M for
Well, I'm not a PLP. I'm an F&M who doesn't support menace. And one doctor is unacceptable. Don't forget now, there's all kind of people in the back there. You got Bahamians, and then, of course, my people, the Haitian people. And they must be given good and affordable health care. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hey, Mr. Monka, how are you?
I am fine. What's on your mind?
Oh, I watch you every day. My mother and my sisters watch you every day religiously.
This is powerful.
And we love you. We do love you. And I love Spiritual Advisor, too.
You love the Spiritual Advisor?
Thank you so
much. Yeah, man, Spiritual Advisor, handsome. I love him, I love him, I love him.
I love you too, eh?
This is powerful.
All right.
Absolutely.
But look here, you give my love to your mother. Is she in set with me?
Yes. Her name is Pastor Minerva Pratt.
Really?
She has 8 girls, and we all watch you, and we all love you so much.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, you are easing my anger, and I want to remain angry, okay? You tell Mom I send my love and to all of your sisters. I'm honored. The Spiritual Advisor and I, we are honored and flattered, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Spiritual Advisor,
good afternoon, Mr. Monka. I live in Miami and my Bahamian passport expired. I went to the embassy and they're asking for all kind of documents which I do not have.
What documents?
Am I a Bahamian and is this the people's time?
It is the people's time, but I'm a justice of the peace and I'm aware that there are a lot of fraud that are being committed. And so in order to reduce the level of frauds, you are required to get documents. For instance, today, in the District of New Providence, appeared before me a Negro citizen who is caught in a situation where, on the document, the Negro citizen is called Lucille Public. But she signs Lucille Republic. So, an affidavit is needed to establish her correct name and to show that Lucille Public and Lucille Republic, fictitious name I'm using, are one and the same person. Because there are many instances where we are not consistent in calling our names. And then you have another situation where there are many of our children who were born out of wedlock, and the Negroes who have been running the country are not as smart as the people in Haiti who, under their law, allows them to properly correct birth certificate and properly permits them to lodge for record the birth of any child after a period. Here in the Bahamas, you got 3 years, all right? So we need to become more progressive. So I say all that to say to you, just comply with what they say, and who knows, I provide a service. You don't got nobody to get the birth certificate in the Bahamas, you hire me, and I'll make the application. But they have to do it, because the world has changed, and there are now terrorists who they've found in the States, and the Americans say they are from the Bahamas. So the world has changed, and you need to document people. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Yeah, this is an interesting one here. Mr. Monker, hot news coming out of Grand Bahama Shipyard. The Grand Bahama Shipyard CEO is ordered out of Grand Bahama by a minister-led government. Freeport CEO, Grand Bahama Shipyard Company, has given the CEO 14 days notice to pack up his bag and leave. Is this a payback from the CEO firing Senate President K. Smith? The shipyard is a major employer on Grand Bahama, and boy, is it really the people's time? How will Carnival Cruise Line, a major shareholder in the shipyard, react to this decision of the Menace government? Also, is PM Menace and the F&M intent to scuttle the $200 million cruise port in East Grand Bahama? The F&M failed to mention this major project negotiated by the Christie government. Is this new deal in the Is this new deal dead in the water and caught under the stop, review, and cancel policy? PM Menace is all over the place telling workers you don't have nothing to fear. If you don't have nothing to fear if you do your jobs, but now people are being thrown out of the country. All we say is this: it ain't long now. What do you think about that, Senator?
Well, I hear the complaint, and I shall investigate. Next.
Okay, here we go. No, the person that's giving us Mark Hume's name.
Mark Humes. I didn't get his name correctly.
Mark, yeah, you got it right.
Mark Humes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. If it is the people's time, why are the nation's leader
if it is the people's
not
time,
working for the people? We have a leader that profiles all day on the people's time. He doesn't have a cabinet post. Very rarely he speaks to the media like the way a prime minister supported.
Who are they talking about?
Who's in charge of leadership, Mr. Menace or Mr. Turnquist? Is Mr. Newbold getting half of his salary? He don't need to get a full ministerial salary because he's not working.
Who's Newbold?
That's Ace. I guess he's the Prime Minister Press Secretary, right? He's not working to be paid. Show me what he can do, or what project is he working on this time.
Listen, Ace is an F&M. And for 5 years, the F&M said the PLP had the gravy. Now it's their time. It's their time to rape the public treasury. All right? It's the people's time. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
That's it. That's all.
That's it?
That's all.
Check this phone and see if there is any text on that.
Okay, good.
Do we have any text on this? Go ahead. There's no more?
Yeah, let me just read this. All right, do you think Chester Cooper should run for the leadership of the PLP?
Is that a political question being asked?
Yeah.
Listen, I support Philip Brave Davis as leader of the PLP. All right? That's the end of that.
Mr. Munker, I am a contract worker with Roads and Parks, and we have not been paid for the month of May, and they do not know when they're going to pay us because they have not assigned a chairman in the department to sign our checks, and rent is due, light bill is due, and everything else. This is not fair, and we've already done our work, and it's June, and June is going to be done soon. Please, can you help us, Mr. Munker?
Listen. If they do not pay you, take my cell number, 434-5760. I shall file a trade dispute on your behalf and take Dr. Menace, and who's the minister in charge? All of them to the Ministry of Labor before Dion Folks. I mean, I know it's a conflict, but that's how you Negroes have the system set up. All right? Dr. Menace, when you can pay the poor people? Tell that caller they have to hold on because the clock is running out on me. So tell them, hold on. Dr. Menace, come man. You're just like Reese Chipman. You're waking these people and don't want to pay. I'm talking about Reese Chipman. Praise the Lord. A Negro man has come forward with $100. And I said to him, bring me $100 by the grocery. And so we'll talk about that when we return. And the phone person, tell them hold on. I'll take their call after the break. Workers are not being paid. Ministers pussyfooting, and the pussyfooting must stop. Pay these people, because Marvin Dame said that crime is due to unemployment. These people are working. Pay them. Pay them. P-A-Y-T-H-E-M. Pay them. Dr. Menace.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live here on ILTV in Nassau, the Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker, and I'm joined in studio by my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, who's a biblical scholar. Bradley, welcome again to Freedom March.
Thank you, Mr. Monker. Just briefly before you move on, with the last text, I just want to explain something as to what's going on in beaches and parks as it relates to payment for the month of May. As you're aware, Senator, the chair of Beaches and Park has been left vacant by Mr. Greg Burrows 1 month before the actual election. And of course, you know, the young man, the Jehovah's Witness man that died, what's his name again now?
He's one of the saints.
Right.
Yes.
Well, he was one of the signatories as well. So as it stands now, Beaches and Park just has what is called a B signatory, and they don't...
Has a what?
A B signatory. They don't have an A.
What you mean they don't have an A signatory? That is
checks.
no excuse.
Well, that's the excuse.
Menace said that the FNM was ready on day one to take government. And if the man has resigned, appoint a chairman.
You are correct.
Or let the Minister of Finance sign.
Yeah.
It is a weightless excuse.
Yes. So as a result, then, you know, a lot of people's payments have been...
It's inefficiency.
Delayed.
It is gross inefficiency.
Bruce Walker. Yes, it was Bruce Walker who passed away.
Yeah. All right. Before I take calls, I want to salute a 5-year-old Negro child who is in studio. Gabriel Delancey. He's the son of my technical assistant, Dion Delancey, and he has graduated from kindergarten yesterday, and as a part of his treat, he wants to see the senator on TV. So his father's brought him here. I don't know how he's going to take it when these FNMs start calling me ex-senator. But he's here. And Gabriel, welcome to Freedom March. All right. Do we have callers now? Hello. Welcome to Freedom March. Caller, are you there?
Hello.
With me? Yes, sir. How are you?
Hello.
Speak to me. I can hear you.
Yeah, Mr. Rodney, how you doing? Good afternoon, Good afternoon, Mr. Rodney, and your spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
What's on your mind? Speak to me.
Yeah, I am one of those persons too on the road. I am one of them persons too on the road that work on the roads. From last month, we hasn't get paid for May.
Really? You have not been paid for May?
And we hasn't get paid for June. I already took the other bill for June.
Yes.
And we hasn't get paid. I went to the office. They already took all the chairman and pictures down of the wall. And I don't see no excuse for that. That is no excuse. I cannot see this the people's time. How people going to live?
Are you a private contractor? Are you a private contractor? Hello?
Yeah, I'm one of the person who the same gentleman called you about.
Yeah.
Hasn't got the money yet.
Okay, but listen to my question. Are you a private contractor to the government? Meaning you have your own business arrangement. Am I correct?
No, I work for the land, the government.
Oh, you work for the government?
Yeah, all us.
Yeah, well,
everyone else in the same thing.
Well, something is fundamentally wrong that Menace FNM is insensitive. You work, you should be paid. It's a national disgrace. And there can be no excuse Because why?
Very frustrating, man.
Yeah, man. But hold on, eh? I understand what you're going through. All right? It's horrible. You take good care. I'm going to curse them out tomorrow for you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Anybody else online? Welcome to Freedom Match. Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Speak to me.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Just cut the radio off on the
Yes.
on the
Good
TV.
afternoon, Mr. Monka.
Yes. Speak to me. Speak to me.
I'm want to find. Could you give me your Could you give me your cell phone number again, please?
Yes. 434 5760. 434 5760.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. I have another caller. Hello. Welcome to Freedom Match. Hello. Speak to me. Speak to me.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you talk. Talk to me. Don't listen to the TV. Talk to me. Hello. You're not talking to me. Next person. Welcome to Freedom Match. Hello. I don't hear anybody, producer. My spiritual advisor. Do we have more texts?
Good afternoon, Senator. I'm trying to find out if you're doing any events next week that I can be a part of. Oh, sorry, that's probably just a personal text. Good afternoon, Senator. Could you...
No.
Hmm?
Read that person text that you said was a personal text. All texts here are personal to me. Go ahead.
They want to know if you have any event planned for next week.
Okay. At the moment, no. But we are thinking of some things, and I think we may have recorded that number. My spiritual advisor, write that number down so we can be in contact with that person. Do we have any more texts?
Mr. Monka, what is going on with NEMA? I need my roof repairs done.
Wow.
If Minis don't want to let NEMA
Go ahead.
open back up, tell him give me that $7,500 contract that my roof can be fixed.
My Lord.
Mr. Monka, what's going... Okay, right. That's the same text.
Minis, come on. The people them roof need to be repaired. It's the same way Brensel Roll promised the woman that he was going to do her roof. Come on. Y'all stop exploiting poor black people. If you say you can fix the roof, fix it. If you say you can do something, do it. But I mean, well, I ain't surprised. I always knew that Minis wasn't safe. Next call.
Mr. Monka, when will Marvin put in metal detectors in the schools?
Well, we'll have to ask Marvin. Marvin, when you can put metal detectors in the school? Welcome to Freedom March. Do I have another caller? Hello?
Mr. Monka.
Yes?
How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fine. What's on your mind?
Just a boss, Bastian. Put some live phone in there so people calling their cell phone, they got to use their minutes. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
When the government comes into power, do they overlook all these bills, certain bills, before they go to say they can go borrow money to pay all these people who ain't working or they ain't working? Do they look into all of these situations before going into power to borrow money? Do they look into these things?
I can't honestly answer that question. The most that I can say, that when you take into consideration that the FNM within days of being elected decided that they were going to borrow $722 million, they must have had that plan before they won government. That's the most I can say.
So do you think that it's something that the government should look into when new governments come into power, to make sure all these people who's complaining they're not getting paid and people who've been working for months and things for the last previous government, that they should look at all these things before they put a budget in? If you want to say they can borrow this money and do the whatever they do the budget to try and make something at the
well, I think I understand what you're saying.
I don't make no sense to me. I mean, I don't. You tell me if I don't know. I don't make no sense.
Look,
It don't make no sense to me.
All they're collecting is money. They got all kind of money they're collecting. But what the FNM traditionally does, every time it comes to power, they stop, cancel, and review. Or they stop, review
and cancel.
So for you Negroes, they're checking to make sure y'all did in fact work.
Every government does.
Don't forget now.
But I know every government does it, right?
Every government.
But yet still, before you put the budget in, the borrow money, the borrow funds, look at all of these situations, all of these things that people being working, and you just can't cut off people's job life and cut off people's incomes just like that.
Listen,
you don't know people. You just can't do it. People got to live and people got to eat.
You are right, because the
government... You look at these kind of situations before you just do it.
You're right.
And you can't come in the government and your budget got to be set. You come in the day and your budget got to be set for next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You can't set a budget like that.
Well, they come up with...
You have to look at these things before you set a budget.
You are so right.
And you want to borrow money, you got to borrow enough funds to pay all these people off. Don't mind about the previous government left people in.
Listen,
and
money is there.
You got to accommodate these people, because the people been working and the people ain't can pay for weeks and months, whatever, because the previous government and things was doing bad with the government. So you got to try find funds to at least accommodate the people. If you can't pay them all, pay them a little something and let them know. And as we go along, we continue. And then if you hold the job, at least pay them for whatever they do until the job continue, and then hold on the job until previous time we get back to you. We can give you something now. But you just can't go borrow money and then you can borrow money and then you do what you want to do with the money and then take it this one and next question.
You are right,
and
I got to let you go. But I got your point. Just remember, the FNM has a hog heart. Hog heart. Do I have another person on the call? On the phone? Hello. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Monka.
How are you?
I'm great.
What's on your mind?
Monka, this a concern.
Yes.
The government, they paid the police some monies that were cleared through the court.
Yes.
By the PLP government.
Yes.
But they didn't pay the pensioners.
They didn't?
No, sir.
Are you sure? Because I ran into one Negro, former policeman, and he seems, listen to my word, he seems to have suggested it was pension that he received, but I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah, what happened? Okay, you have some police officers that are working on the force and they're still pensionable, but some have already stopped working completely, but they have worked those hours.
Okay.
And those are the ones that they didn't pay. And the money is cleared to pay all of those.
Well, I got to talk to Marvin. I got to find out what Marvin is doing.
The minister, he need to pay these police because, you know, they waiting on their money. They're calling up by the headquarters almost every day.
Really?
But they're waiting on the treasury, man. The people need the money, man.
Oh, I got to talk to Marvin because, you know, notwithstanding the fact that I criticize him, I always suspected that Marvin might be a saved man.
Yes.
I can have to
Marvin
trace him out.
know about that, man.
I can talk to him about
their
it.
Money.
I thank you, and I'll talk to Marvin.
Yes, thank you, too.
Okay. Marvin, you heard the woman. The people, them, needs their money. And if you truly believe it is the people's time, Marvin, I don't care if Dr. Menace have to print money. Just find the money. Because it is the people's time and the policemen, them, done work. All right? I have anybody else on the phone? Spiritual advisor, do we have more texts from my people? The Negro people.
No, there's no more text.
There's no more text?
No.
This is powerful. So, I noticed that the newspapers say that the murder rate is increasing.
22%, it says?
Is that high?
Of course it is.
You think one murder?
One murder in the country is too much.
But the FNM promised that they were going to do something to reduce
it.
Yeah,
this thing about murder and trying to control it, it's flip-flopping for both sides, both governments.
Well, don't do that, my spiritual advisor.
Why not? This is
because one government has been voted out.
Okay.
Don't tell me what the PLP was supposed to do. Tell me what this FNM government's supposed to do.
You can't do that.
How you mean? And I remember the body.
Yeah, but you can't judge the FNM and say they're no good after being in office just 1 month. I mean, come on.
What if
you got to give them chance? Marvin Dames is now implementing certain things.
What is he implementing?
Well, I see he's doing a lot of road checks. He's been doing a lot of weekend road checks.
I want him to do
weeknight road checks.
I want him to do home
fish
check.
out criminals, huh?
Marvin, I want you to do home checks. Start checking every homes. Put road checks. I have a call. Welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica.
Good afternoon.
Let me ask you one question. You're very smart, you're very intelligent. You have good things and educated about the law of the Bahamas, right?
Go ahead.
I know you're 60 years old. Let me ask you a question.
Goodness me. Go ahead, my Negro.
Basel rule
Basel.
on the labor board, right? Let me ask you a question. I was out of the job for a year and 7 months.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I claimed check for unemployment. After 6 months, I claimed 6 checks. I entitled the 10 checks after a year. I entitled 4 more checks from National Insurance. Right?
What happened? Did
I
you
went to get the claim another 4 checks. After a year, if you don't find a job in a year, you get 4 additional checks.
Okay.
Right? You aware of anything that because the lady told me that. I went back to try to claim my other couple checks. The last little bit of checks I got to put the bread and butter on my table and get them half the money back for what? I can't get my money because they tell me I already claimed my 6 checks. You aware of anything like that? You know about?
I want you to be careful because the last time there was a controversy over checks, Papa discovered that there were many people who were getting these checks unlawfully. You remember that? And Papa then prosecutes. Now, what I'm going to do, since I'm not sure I could listen to me.
That's labor law, Mr. Mongo.
I want you to listen to me, comrade. Since I cannot answer your question, I'm going to...
You're entitled. You entitled like labor law.
Put the Negro man on hold. Huh? Now I want you to listen to me. I just put you on hold. You got to listen. I'm going to suggest that you go and find out where Brentsell Road office is. I'm not sure which building he's in. And go there early. You know, get there like around 7 a.m. and sit in the front and wait for Brentsell. Now don't do it on a Tuesday, because chances are he's going to cabinet. And talk to Brentsell. He's a decent guy. Let me know what he says. And if you're not pleased, you call me back, okay? Bring the Negro man back on.
Hello?
Yeah, you heard what I just said, right? Did you hear what I say? Anyway, do well, comrade. Do well. Do I have anybody else on the phone? Welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, Brother Mongo.
Sir.
How you doing, sir?
I'm fine. What's on your mind?
Awesome, awesome. Good afternoon to your spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm a first-time caller, and I got 2 things.
Welcome.
Romy for marathon, he ain't safe.
I know he's not safe.
You should have dropped him on the head when he was small for true, because...
I have great regrets.
During the campaign election, I watched him pass my house, and he ain't even come and knock to the door.
Really?
And my house is sitting in between 2 neighbors.
Somebody must have told him use PLP.
I believe so, because I just had arrived from work, right? Taking all my things out of the car. He walked past me, looked me in my face, and keep walking.
Wow.
And guess what? Me being a young person, he didn't, even if they tell him I was PLP, right? If he'd have come, he probably could have had that vote.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't do things like that, man. Just because people tell you, this person might be a certain particular party or whatever, but you still got to go ahead and still do the thing, man.
I quite agree with you. And the fact that he has not shown up, having seen you, suggests that he will not give you proper representation because you have been labeled. I'll curse him out for you. And
appreciate that. The second thing is that if you could get the technical guys to update the YouTube channel, because I've been working 20 hours, and the most I can catch it is on the YouTube, but they mixing up the episodes.
Okay, I will tell them that, because you're the third Negro to complain. Okay, thank you.
Sir. Enjoy.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. What's on your mind?
I'm calling to talk to you about the social service situation.
Okay.
Before the new government came in, we had single mothers who were able to go into social service every month to receive sometimes maybe $50 food vouchers.
Yes.
Just to assist them with what they have for their kids.
Yes.
Since the new government came in now, they implement that it's every 3 months process now.
Really?
Yes. I'm trying to figure out how is it possible, because even when it was a month, it was difficult for $50, $60 to last a month.
Yes.
How is $60 possibly able to last
90
for
days.
3 months?
Well, I'm going to talk to Senator I'm going to talk to Minister Lanisha Roll Daddy.
Okay.
He's my neighbor. And I'm
Okay.
going to complain to him and tell him to tell his daughter to have social conscience.
Please.
And my people should not be subjected to this kind of indignity.
No.
I'm going to curse them out, but I'm going to talk to her daddy this evening. I'm going to go see him.
Make sure don't use no 10-pound words now.
I won't. These are 30-pound words. But I got your point. I thank you very much, eh?
All right. Take care.
Do I have any more calls? Hello. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Hello? There's nobody there.
I have some text.
Spiritual advisor, read text quickly because we got about 9 more minutes.
Hi, Mr. Munker. How are you? I watch your show every day and I love it. Mr. Munker, not just the garbage needs to be taken away. This whole island is dirty and nasty. The F&M government needs to clean up this island. Shame on you, Menace. You know something? That's a legitimate text. As I ride around, I noticed that it seems as if everything has come to a screeching halt.
Wow.
As it relates to, cleaning the island up. Good day, Mr. Munker. I'm a resident in Harbour Island. I want to know when the government is going to continue the administrative building in Bryland. Minister them stop and review the work. Now look like it canceled for good. The woman them need to work in a better building. Please.
Okay, I'm going to talk to Ricky Mackey. He's a good Negro. Man, I'll talk to him. Welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Mungo. How you doing today?
Listen, I'm angry, but speak to me.
Yes. I would like to know, is Lanisha Roll, every time I pass East Street and Ross Corner, Gibbs Corner, she has a store there. I see two cars with government license plates parked on the side of the wall or it's in the back. I'd like to know if she's getting paid to stay there or she's getting paid to do the people's business. It's the people's time.
Well, let me go undercover. Usually I go to her to buy a little hat and little things. And when I show up and she see it's me, she's tell them, listen, take off a little something for him. But don't mind, I'm going to go undercover to see what's going on and I'll report back to you, okay?
Yes.
All right, you take good care. Well, my spiritual advisor,
Mr. Munker, we have a big trash issue in Yellow Elder. Work was not finished by the former government. Can you contact Mr. Dames? Because illegal...
He's the MP.
Oh, okay, good. Because illegal dumping is going on. We need help. Good day, Mr. Munker. Love your show. And I'm proud to say that my sisters and stepmom are indeed one of the women there. Mr. Munker, when are you coming to Grand Bahama?
Listen.
We can use your help.
I'm scared. I'm afraid of plane. And management told me if I caught the mail boat, I'm going to miss the show. But I can work out. And who knows, there's a particular woman who works the National Insurance. Whenever I'm flying, she flies with me. And she's a safe woman. She allows me to put my head between her breasts. And she holds on to me until the plane lands. My wife knows about it because I say to her, I can't fly. Unless, of course, I do that. Marvin, we need those trash to be cleaned up. And if you don't, I promise to put them on a couple of dumping truck. I don't know where you live. And come to your house. I can't go to Minnie's house because Minnie's live on a high hill. So I wouldn't know how to carry them there. But Marvin, it's the people's time. Okay? Because I had a couple who complained to me on Sunday how they asked, what was the PLP candidate name in that constituency?
What constituency is that?
Forbes. Arnold Forbes.
Arnold Forbes. That's,
they say they asked Arnold Forbes to put down, what you call them things when car go over, speed bump. Arnold ain't do it. They asked Marvin to do it. Marvin ain't do it. And these people got a bunch of little black children. And they're afraid that the little children them can get knocked down. And they complain to me. And I said to them, I see Marvin Daddy. Marvin Daddy is throw jazz at me every day. And I can complain to Marvin Daddy and tell him, gone. Your son wouldn't clean up Yellow Elder. I'll tell him that tomorrow. All right? My spiritual advisor, any more text?
Greetings from the barbershop. That's one. Good afternoon, sir. I'm not
Barber
sure.
shop. Whole firm.
Right. Good afternoon, sir. I'm not sure the standards are
Go ahead.
graduate from high school from I left school, but I'm sure this isn't right. The student has been maintaining a 2.5 GPA from grade 10 to 12. Because the student was missing a BGCSE subject, the student was not able to graduate. Is this correct?
I don't know what Jeff Lloyd them are doing. I really don't know. I'll try to inquire. I don't know. I really can't answer it. I'm so sorry to hear the news, but still tell the student, hold his or her head high and study. All right? Study. But I'm sorry over that treatment. What else do we have, Mr.
That's it. That's
Really?
all the text for today. Yes, sir.
Well, folks, there's some topics that I was supposed to discuss a couple days ago, and I haven't. I was supposed to tell you about how Wendell Jones, the Negro owner of that radio station, TV station down the road, JCN, how he cursed me out. But I was going to deal with him, all right? He only showing off because he got radio over me. But I can ask management to get a radio too. And I'm going to show Wendell. He tell me, but he's a better talk show host than me. And how he's educate the people. And I said to Wendell, as smart as you are, you don't know nothing in Haitian Creole. And so since he doesn't know anything in Haitian Creole, I'm going to tell him something. Licky do mama. Licky do. Wendell Jones, leave me alone. Because you are wrong to be talking bad like that to me. Stop it! Because I'm going to defend myself. And I ain't scared because you got TV and I got TV. All I need is radio. And it will be the battle of the TV and the radio. Freedom March! Freedom!
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.